There was no offense in tonight's game until there was all the offense. And somehow a passed ball gives the Diamondbacks a win tonight in St. Louis. We have more on Erod, Shoving, and Paul Sewald taking us all on a wild ride. Light those cacti up, whatever. The Diamondbacks win, and we're talking about it right now. Welcome into another edition of the Dbacks post-game show, live from Studio K, presented by our friends at Circle K. It is your mayor of PHNX, occasionally known as Derek Montilla. Thrilled to have a little bit of your attention on NBA draft night, and thrilled to be talking about the Arizona Diamondbacks beating the St. Louis Cardinals in an exciting flurry of offense late, winning this one by a score of 4-3. And I am not alone. I am joined by my guy who's hobbled in here on crutches after learning a lesson about attacking me viciously as my producer. It is the one, the only, Kevin Thomas, a.k.a. Large Intimate. Kevo, glad to have you here. Wish you were feeling better in regards to your foot situation. Yeah, that's all he has to say about that. But this show is brought to you by the fine folks at Bet365. Go download the Bet365 app where winning is everything. Use that code of PHNX365 when you sign up. And we're also brought to you by our friends at Game Time. Download the Game Time app, create an account, and use code PHNX for $20 off your first purchase. Terms do apply. The Diamondbacks do win this one by a score of 4-3. They improve to 40-39 to stay just above 500. And Kevin, I know you haven't produced this show in a while, but when we do that, we send little Perdomo up Mount 500, if you wouldn't mind. Well, of course, Nate says we are not really part of the draft. You're right, Nate, which gives you Suns fans all the reason to be here, abandoning those guys next door. I don't even know what they're doing over there. They're just watching other teams have fun. They are a bunch of Squidwards in that studio next to us. But we're having fun in here because our team is playing sports and they won tonight. And I'm not just joined by our guy, Kevin Thomas. I'm also joined by another familiar face from right here at PHNX, our guy, Pat Brown, freelance journalist for MLB.com. PB, great to see you, buddy, and great to be talking to you about a Diamondbacks victory here tonight.
I've never had the privilege. Like, I usually take a left turn to the hockey show. I ended up on baseball.
They're going to push you over there with those guys. But you're looking sharp in that Father's Day shirt for sure. We're glad to have you.
It's a slick shirt. I got to say, really high nice quality.
High quality, really good material, fits great.
Yeah,
like that, no complaints on my end about that one for sure.
Good
but
stuff.
Also, no complaints about this one, even though the Diamondbacks very much tried to give it away late, as much as they tried to take it late in this one. And Eduardo Rodriguez was outstanding. Yeah. He battled Cardinals starter Kyle Leahy in a pitcher's duel for this entire game. As mad as I want to be at the offense, you sit there and applaud Erod for his night. And both pitchers had basically an equally dominant night, which was the story of this game. But the other story is that after going 8 innings completely scoreless, all hell broke loose, and both teams just started scoring like crazy in the 9th inning, and the Diamondbacks withheld an onslaught by St. Louis there against Paul Sewald, winning this one 4-3. Eventually, though, it was Nolan Arenado who broke things open against his former ball club, and that just felt, Pat, very poetic overall here, that he got to break his former team's heart there by starting the offense for the Diamondbacks.
And like, how fitting was it? The Dbacks, I believe, were 0 for 9 with runners in scoring
0 for 10.
position.
0 for
0 for
10.
10 before he came
0
up.
for 10
I
before
lost
that
track
hit.
of one.
Of
More
course
than
you
one
did,
per
because it was
inning.
ridiculous at one point.
Fantastic.
I mean, I
What'd
think it was
they
a
finish?
pop-up,
They finished 2
behind
for
home plate.
13. So the box score says 2 for 13. But it's just,
Yeah.
it was great to see Nolan come through in that spot against the team and give them a boost, which they needed every bit of those 4 runs that they got in the top half just to hang on there. Got a little too interesting in the end, but happy for Nolan. It was great to see someone, and then it becomes contagious. Isn't it funny how that happens? You start putting the bat on the ball, you start getting on base, and then you start knocking those guys home, and it becomes contagious. And you saw that in the 9th inning.
Well, and again, what we finally started seeing there in the 9th inning was some patient at bats from these guys. You see Gabriel Moreno with 1 out. He comes up, he takes a 5-pitch at bat. And then again, a guy who has received a ton of criticism both on this show and from the fan base, Pavin Smith. He just absolutely battled in a 10-pitch AB to eventually walk and put a second base runner on. With the way the Diamondbacks had been hitting with runners in scoring position, though, Pat, it felt futile. It felt ridiculous to have, like, I was like, all we're doing by adding a walk here is now setting up the inevitable double play that's going to end this inning for us, and like, that's how bad the offense is that I truly did not believe, even when it felt like they did get something cooking there in the 9th, that they weren't going to be able to deliver. They had runners in scoring position all day today. In fact, it's kind of unfair because a leadoff double really does two leadoff doubles that don't score will completely sink your runner in scoring position batting average, essentially. And that's kind of what happened early for this team.
Well, you hate to, like, you said it, and it's like that's almost like the obvious, because when you think about it, you're expected. You got a guy on second. I mean, look at how you start extra innings, right? You start extra innings, runner on second, nobody out. If you don't
to score that guy,
if you don't plate that runner, the game's over. I mean,
right.
Not true. We've seen plenty of times where that's not the case, but you get the spirit of that feeling, and it feels the same when you get a leadoff double twice.
Yes.
And the way they started the game, the very first, I think it was the first pitch.
Very first batter. Very first pitch. It was Ketel Marte on a double.
Yeah,
right.
Marte,
17th
I think
of the
the
year.
very first pitch he saw too, right? And I mean, he's on second. You're feeling good. You're feeling like the offense is feeling good, and then nothing. And then
You're
it happens
so right.
again.
It was so deflating as a fan to watch, and I can only imagine how it is for the team, because like you said, you have a guy at second with 0 outs. That is exactly, the runner's ghost runner in extra innings, and to not score that run in extra innings is like lights out, right? But again, there's just something about how deflating it has to be to see Ketel get on with the very first pitch of the game, right? Into second. And what's worse is he never moved. Well, he did move from second because Perdomo grounded over. But like, even then, they had a runner on third and they couldn't get, Corbin Carroll strikes out swinging instead of being able to get, a sac fly out to score that first run. And that just felt like their offense all day long, because it's not without opportunity. They had a few times where they had guys get on base. They had Groover again in the 3rd inning get on to start the inning with a ground rule double. And that was another situation where, like you said, it's devastating that they don't get that run in.
And to your point, I'm just taking a look left. So not how they hit in scoring position, but they left 6 runners in scoring position overall, including poor Perdomo 3 times. 3 times he's left in scoring position. And look, these are professionals, right? And it's a 162 game season. They've been through it all. They know the ebbs and flows of the game. But to your point, in the moment, that momentum in the moment is contagious, and it can also sink you. It can avalanche the other way. So I love that you gave Pavin some love there, because you get a 10-pitch at bat at that stage of the game where some of those swings he was putting out was just to stay alive, and he drew the walk and he got the runner to scoring position by drawing that walk, and lo and behold, they hit him in, which was great. So I'm glad you gave him some love. I know it's been a tough season for him. I saw kind of a funny post on Twitter the other day, or today, I think it was, that Pavin Smith has left 752 runners in scoring position in the last 8 games. So I know he's taking a beating.
I don't know. That doesn't sound inaccurate.
I haven't fact checked it yet.
I haven't checked that, but what I will also say though, okay, we've talked on this show about Pavin Smith has always been commended for his kind of knowledge of the strike zone, right? Like that he has a good eye. And not only did he walk after taking 10 pitches, but I felt like something that might have been very valuable there was that they pinch ran for him, allowing Pavin to come back to the dugout and share a lot of that information from those 10 pitches that he saw with the dugout. Now, again, I don't know how much of that information, gets to a guy like Arenado, who was on deck, coming up after him, but might have gotten to Lourdes, who delivered a huge 2-run single there that really, I mean, at the time, the hit by Arenado felt like it was the game winner.
It did.
And yet, when we sit here at the end, now we realize how important it was that Gurriel came through with that 2 RBI single, and that they scored that runner on the pass ball, which essentially becomes the winning run in this game, which is just a wild thing overall to have, be the way a game like this ends.
And I mean, come on, Derek, you know the game better than most. And you know darn well that intel got from Pavin to Nolan almost immediately.
100%.
From what 100%. He learned. And we're assuming.
I know things happen fast, though, like with the runner on,
they do.
With the hitter on deck, right? That's why I say, like, there's no doubt in my mind that information didn't get to Lourdes Gurriel.
No doubt.
As he was coming in. You know what I mean? So
it's another reason why those late inning at bats are so critical. You've gotten through the starter, and at that point, you've gotten through multiple relievers. If you can extend them, you can, everybody's trying to get an edge in this game. You see it all the time. You saw Skubal getting a dust up with, I think it was it the White Sox the other day, because he thought they were calling out his pitches.
Yes.
Everybody's trying to get an edge. It happens all the time. And it's legal, by the way. It is legal to steal signs. It's just not legal to transmit that via electronic.
That's right. Or trash can. Not legal
or trash
to transmit it via trash can either.
It's true. Or trash can.
But also, I mean, the complimentary baseball that they played there late, continuing to put that pressure caused Cardinals to change their, pitcher in the 9th inning. And that caused them to bring in a guy that probably wasn't ready, who then walked 2 batters and gives up that pass ball, which allowed Jorge Barosa to score and put the Diamondbacks up, which felt like, hey, this game went from a scoreless, offensive-less game to being like a rout almost. If they score one more run here, it's a rout, and they're up 5-0. And they needed every single one of those runs, considering the roller coaster ride that Paul Sewald took us all on in the 9th inning. He was not very good tonight, could not finish the 9th, and he almost spoiled things for this team. But luckily, Torrey made a good managerial move and turned to Brandon Garcia there for the final batter of the game. But we'll definitely
They needed that win, too, badly. They had to stop the bleeding. They needed that win really badly. So.
And again, it's one of those situations where we that watch this team, that have seen this movie play out, have seen that exact thing happen time and time and time again. And again, credit to the Cardinals offense for putting the pressure on the Diamondbacks and flipping things right back around. It was like one of those figure 4 leg locks in pro wrestling where all you got to do is flip your belly over, and now you're putting the pressure somehow on the person that was putting the figure 4 leg lock on you. And that's what this 9th inning was. It truly was kind of a fun ending to a game that was moving incredibly fast. And that there was not hardly any offense. I think both teams had 3 hits prior to that 9th inning. But again, the Diamondbacks come out firing. Like you said, they just put together some good at-bats. They finally became patient enough to slow the game down a little bit, and it resulted. But again, you can't think about it being more poetic once again than Nolan Arenado delivering that RBI double that scored Gabriel Moreno to score the very first run for either team in this game, and doing it against a fan base that kept just wanting to give him standing ovations and wanting to just applaud him because they just love this guy so much.
Yeah, it's like you said, I think you used the perfect description before, poetic. Poetic that he came through, poetic that he started, I guess we'll call it a rally. And again,
kind of what it was.
It's that type of thing that gets contagious even in the same inning. And to your point, I they went up 3-4-0 in the 9th. It felt over. You do have to credit the Cardinals for hanging in there. It's really easy
100%.
to roll over when you're playing game 70 whatever, 80 whatever out of 162. It's pretty easy to roll over as a professional baseball player and just look toward tomorrow. Another game, you've only lost first game of the series, whatever. But no, they came storming back. They forced Torrey to make a decision and pull Sewald in the 9th, which I'm sure wasn't easy, but it was the right decision. They hung on. They needed the win, and it was just one of those solid games all the way through. Good starting pitching. They put the bats together at the end, and just kind of the type of gritty effort you want to see if you're going to get on a roll at any point in the season, which they have to do if they're going to make any noise.
That's it, man. They really do have to figure something out here when it comes to, what their offense is doing lately, specifically that. Like their offense, again, today, I'm going to wag my finger at the offense, and then I'm going to give all the credit in the world on the other side of this break, PB, to Eduardo Rodriguez for him essentially doing the same thing to the Cardinals that got done to the Diamondbacks tonight.
Yeah.
But I think as far as the Diamondbacks are concerned, this is happening far too often. This is happening in, you're having way too many games. I mean, the Diamondbacks, once again, I believe they continue to lead all MLB in one-run games, and it's good that they can show up in those games because they've won a lot of those one-run games. However, it's still a record, just like the record's close to 500 right now. It's very close to 500 in those one-run affairs as well. So it would just be nice for this offense to be able to provide enough run support for this pitching staff and for this bullpen where they didn't constantly have to be involved in one-run games. And that's kind of where, it feels like it's just kind of growing very old to watch this team do what they did tonight with runners in scoring position and just kind of continue to flounder. I mean, the Erod was great, and the Cardinals didn't have nearly as many opportunities with runners in scoring position when he was pitching that the Diamondbacks did. And like you said, it started with the very first batter of the game, and that just continued to be the trend throughout the night.
Absolutely. And I don't mean to open old wounds here, but to your point about it's not that bad. But like to your point about scoring runs, they scored 8. I was covering the Twins for MLB just this past weekend, and the one where Minnesota put up 16 runs.
Yeah.
And they were up 16-0, which was wild. But the Diamondbacks come back and score 8 runs in that game, and it didn't even feel like it. Like you score 8 runs and you didn't even sniff a win.
Yeah.
That's demoralizing, not the right word. I can't stress enough. There's 162 games, but
you could hit 2 grand slams and you're still only halfway there to the deficit that you're currently in.
When you struggle offensively and then you have a game where you put up 8 runs and it's still not even close, like there are things that need to be looked at and understand. What do you need to do to get these bats going earlier? What do you need to do? What steps do you need to take to get them to get those runners from second to third? Even just get the runner from second to third, and then especially if there's no outs. That's what drove me crazy. And I'm not a small ball guy. I've never loved small ball. There's a time and a place, but when you're struggling to score runs and you've only got you don't have any outs in the inning, you got your leadoff guy on second base, get the runner to third so you can just break that dam and let the flooding begin, because you see what happens. It's contagious. People start to put together, even if it's not a good hit, it's still probably a good at bat. And you start taking good at bats. You start getting your second and third time through the lineup earlier against the starter. And it just makes all the difference in the world. So I'll get off my soapbox, but I'm glad you brought up
Make some space for me, because I'm ready to jump up there with you. I'm a blue collar baseball kind of guy. I like close games. I like pitching duels. I like all of that. But you know what I also like is manufacturing runs. Like you're a goddamn factory. Figure a way out. Even if it's one run, it's still one run. Every run was important in this game. And I feel like if you go out there and you do the right things, you're able to bring a runner. When you're getting 2 runners on second base to start an inning with no outs, it's a complete failure for you to not get that runner home. And you're going out there and trying to swing for the fences and do all of these other things. Stop doing that. Right now, your offense is struggling. So go out there, bunt a runner over, hit a sac fly, get the run in. Just get the run in. Do it slowly. Do it, I can't think of the word right now because I'm meticulously. Thank you. That's the word. It was right there. It was right there.
Well
Kevin
done.
and I share a brain. But it just do it in a way where, again, you approach it not like you're just constantly keeping your fingers crossed for a big hit to the outfield or a home run or, something like that. Realize your offense is struggling. Take the, especially when you have guys that are going to surprise the offense, right? Like, you mean to tell me Corbin Carroll doesn't have an honest to God chance of bunting for his single? He does.
Right.
Give him that chance when you got a runner in scoring position like you do, or whatever. I mean, I know it's crazy to go for the suicide squeeze with Cattell on third base, but just do something more that shows more of an effort to bring those runs in. And Sean in our live chat makes a great point. He said, can we swap Jerry and Troy in the lineup? Domo was doing just fine hitting in the bottom of the lineup. Now, he's not wrong. And it's still a small sample size by comparison to Perdomo hitting third. But hitting third, he's slashing 237, 337, 359 for a 696 OPS. Meanwhile, batting sixth, he has a 400 batting average. Batting 400, 538, 550 for a 1088 OPS. Batting seventh, it's 417/417/417 for an 833 OPS. So, I mean, again, very small sample size compared to, the 32 at bats he's gotten in those two later, positions in the batting order versus the 156 that he's gotten at batting third, right? Those are quite a different sample size overall. However, it does feel like Perdomo seems to do better hitting lower in the lineup, at least for right now. And I don't necessarily understand the knee-jerk reaction to, hey, he's got a couple of hits, he's doing better, let's shoot him back up in the lineup. When, to be fair, Torey Lovullo has been slower to do that with other guys that have been doing well in the past. So again, maybe just leave Domo down there and let's see if that just turns into something.
And I mean, Tommy Troy has so much going on upstairs right now.
Yeah.
He's still taking it all in.
Yeah,
and
he absolutely is.
On top of it, he's playing, center field. Oh my gosh. Like I was a left fielder and I don't think I could play center field. You got to cover so much ground. You got to run everything. And then he about decapitated poor Perdomo on that sweet double play.
I know.
By the way, I don't know what you're thinking at third base there, but anyways, I don't need to get sidetracked. I don't think you necessarily need to protect Tommy Troy a little bit more in the lineup. But he is still, you could tell, he's still wide-eyed. He's still taking it in. It will become routine soon enough for him, whether, however long he stays and whenever he comes back.
Well, he's getting enough at bats. He's not, they're not doing to him what they did to like Jose Fernandez. And,
absolutely. Good call.
Ryan Waldschmidt really didn't get that treatment too much, but again, it's really just about if Groover and Troy are going to be up here, they need to be playing regularly, and you can't do to them what you did to Fernandez, because he's still showing effects of that down in AAA Reno for sure. But offensively tonight, a really nice night from Lourdes Gurriel Jr. He was 2 for 4 with 2 RBI. Arenado had that big double. He was 1 for 4 with 1 RBI. Groover 1 for 3 with a double and a walk. Perdomo, again, had a big walk, 0 for 4. Ketel Marte, 1 for 4 tonight with a walk. And Corbin Carroll, unfortunately, 0 for 4 with 2 strikeouts. Gabriel Moreno played a big role in that 9th inning as well. He was 1 for 4 with a run scored. So not much offense to speak of, but enough for the Diamondbacks to be walking away with a victory. We're going to take a quick break. On the other side of this break, we are going to talk all about the pitching staff, both the good with Eduardo Rodriguez and the very bad with Paul Sewald. And maybe, I don't know if you want to call it ugly, but I'd call it an ugly win overall after all was said and done. We're going to do that on the other side of this break. Don't you go anywhere. You're watching the PHNX Diamondback Show. Well, Don Julio 1942 is here for the biggest sporting event in the world, right here in our backyard. And that means that we are still all fighting for this. Oh, it's not there. They stole it. They took it away from us. We're all fighting for that wonderful bottle of Don Julio 1942. And of course, there are plenty of options that are made to be raised for the World Cup. Don Julio 1942 is giving us a trophy that everyone can take home. Take home a special edition of Don Julio 1942 that honors the artistry of tequila making, a symbol as timeless as the beautiful game itself and inspired by the FIFA World Cup trophy. From stadiums to street parties, have yourself a blast with the World Cup, and make sure you make it a Don Julio 1942. Make sure to join us also for our U.S. men's national team and Mexico watch parties this summer. We'll have samples and prizes for those in attendance, as well as a whole lot of fun to be had. Whether you're at your favorite spot, stocking up for home, or hanging out with us, make it a Don Julio 1942. And we could all use some help managing our energy bills every single month here in the desert, but specifically in the summer, we can use all the help we can get. June, July, and August is here. Run for your lives, folks, because it gets hot, it stays hot. And APS has several ways that they can help us save money on our energy bill. APS customers can check the monthly plan comparison section on their energy bill every month to see which rate plan could have saved them the most for that month, or to verify that they are on the best plan for their situation. Rate plan options can help you save money, and they're all right there in blue type on your latest energy bill from APS. Plus, APS has budget billing options, which averages out your bill throughout the year so that you don't experience those high spikes during the summer months, and you know exactly what to expect month after month, allowing you to plan and budget accordingly. Find all of your options to manage your bill at aps.com/let's talk right now. And Candace in the chat is bringing up the smile in my face when I say Don Julio. How can you not smile when you talk about Don Julio 1942? Great times, great memories attached to that name for sure. But
I don't have many memories. I don't remember.
Yeah, that's a good point. See, you're doing it right. That's where you're doing it right, when you don't have the memories. But people are running around in our lobby, Kevin, and doing victory circles like I was when the Diamondbacks started scoring. Can you give us any updates on what's going on?
I don't know what the hell is going on out there. They scared me.
Yeah, right, because I hear woo-hooing.
Okay, well, maybe did the Suns just trade up for
Did they trade up? Yeah, did they get
the rest of my night just been nixed?
Yeah, has things gotten much more complicated for you?
But I think it's just a trade between some sort of two other teams, not the Suns, and not Kobe related. I don't know why they're celebrating.
Oh, man. We got some updates on our DR Congo team. By the way, DR Congo, our last hope for us winning that Don Julio bottle. They are giving Colombia a run for their money right now. A 0-0 match right now at the 62-minute mark. Thank you so much for the update, Sean. Transonic brings up that DR Congo, actually Dr. Congo, sounds like a James Bond villain. And I think that might be all I call it from now on. It's Congo, Dr. Congo, Mr. Bond, and I'm here to destroy you. I'm here to steal your giant bottle of Don Julio 1942 for sure. But speaking of making good memories, Eduardo Rodriguez has been giving us some pretty good memories this season, man. It feels like every time the Diamondbacks have Erod on the mound this season, they win. They win. I mean, I know they don't actually win, but it feels like the Diamondbacks win a lot of games when you got that man on the mound.
Yeah, I mean, look, that's a great performance. It wasn't like, I'm looking at the line right now. It felt, I don't want to, like, look, 6 2/3, 3 hits, no earned, 3 walks.
He didn't want to come out of this one either. He did not want to leave.
And I don't blame him.
He was like, "What are we doing? Let me finish this up."
Right, and he wants to get at least that last out of the inning. You know that. But more so, you wonder if he just doesn't want to see the ball go to the bullpen because he's got no runs.
That's true. Yeah. Things didn't exactly go easy when he left out of this game, but he was an absolute stud tonight for this team, man. And I mean,
incredible.
He continues to be. We always hear all of this stuff that, you know, his stat or his underlying metrics aren't good, or, you know, this isn't good. I understand the importance of that stuff. I think it's a little more important when you're trying to evaluate, you know, unproven talent, to know if, like, the results you're seeing out of them is just kind of a fluke, or if they are actually as good as, you know, as you're seeing, right? But the Diamondbacks now have won 12 of the last 14 games started by Eduardo Rodriguez. He lowers his ERA this season to 2.27. And his changeup continues to be amazing. Tonight, it was just electric. 1-2-3 first inning with 2 strikeouts, 1-2-3 second inning with 1 strikeout. He gave up a walk in the third, but didn't give up another base runner or a hit in that inning. In the fourth, got himself into a little bit of trouble by giving up a pair of one-out singles to Jordan Walker and known Star Wars character Lars Newbar, but neither runner scored or advanced. And then it was another 1-2-3 inning in the fifth with a strikeout of Pages. Then the sixth inning was the first time he really got into a jam tonight with one out. He walked Herrera. He gave up a single to Walker and walked Newbar to load the bases, and then got a double play behind him on the very first pitch to the next batter to get out of the inning. And again, even then, even at that point, his pitch count was in the 90s, and he still came out for the seventh inning to try to get one more inning of work in. And he got 2 outs really quickly before being pulled for Juan Murillo. And he did. He gave Torrey a look. He gave Torrey a look like, come on, man. Come on, man. Really? 6 2/3? I got this. I don't care if I don't care what my pitch count is, right? But he threw a balanced mix of pitches tonight. I think we have his pitch chart, Kevin. When I say that, four seam 27% of the outing, changeup 24% of the outing, curveball 21% of the outing, and then threw his cutter and sinker 14%. Just a real nice mix of pitches. Probably the best mix of pitches that we've seen out of Erod all season long. But his changeup, once again, looked great. He got 4 whiffs on the changeup tonight. He got 2 with the cutter, 2 with the four seam, a couple with the other pitches, 10 whiffs total. So, again, he got a lot of swing and miss tonight. His fastball maxed out at 93.6 miles an hour and average 92.4, which gave him really good control over that fastball. Again, he kept it up high in the zone. All those four seam fastballs are all hiding underneath each other in this pitch chart image. You can't even see all of them, but they're all kind of high up there in the zone. And again, he was throwing everything exactly where he wanted to tonight.
There was that one changeup that was high up there. That one got away a little bit.
Yeah, that one. Yeah. Every once in a while we do. We're not all perfect, all right?
Effectively wild, right? Effectively wild. But to your point about Erod too, we're talking about a guy who's got a career 1.32 whip, right? He doesn't issue or get a bunch of people on base every inning. That's his bread and butter. He's obviously having a fantastic year this season. You look at a starter at an ERA of 2.27. We're not even getting into advanced statistics, which I share your opinion. There is, again, time and a place, and they're a big deal. Especially MLB's really starting to pick up on a lot of these expected stats, right? I just keep every visiting team that rolls in the Chase Field, if I'm covering them for MLB, all of these managers continue, including Shelton of the Twins, they just keep talking about expected metrics and all that. But that's not the end all. It really isn't, because those are projections. Those are equations. Those are items that sometimes, especially in baseball, I'm going to take flack for this, and I probably should, but especially in baseball, sometimes it's just a gut feeling. I hate to say it, but sometimes it's just a gut feeling. Everything averages out in the end, of course. But if someone's on a heater, you're going to ride them. And you're gonna give them the benefit of the doubt, which we have seen Torrey do with Erod in the past. You can't argue with the results. He gave him the hook. Relievers come in, shut it down until Sewald gets in the game. So some good moves by Torrey today in the game. Maybe Erod gets that final out, but maybe he doesn't. And then how does that work in the life of a manager? Now Torrey's taking heat for allowing the first run of the game because he left Erod in one pitch too long, one batter too long. And, so it's just funny how it all evens out. But unbelievable performance yet again from him today. And you're kind of starting to expect it when he takes the hill now. So can that be contagious?
Brother, you're not wrong. His last start, 7 innings pitched, 1 earned run, 5K, 3 walks. Sounds a lot like tonight. 6 2/3, no runs, 5 Ks, 3 walks. Right? It's consistent. He lowers his away ERA. It came into this game with a 3.38 away ERA and a 2.45 ERA season on the season, and both of those go down after his performance here tonight. Just incredible. 5 strikeouts. Got to fire up the old Circle K strikeout meter. It deserves better still, like I said, but we're finally starting to fill that bad boy up. You know, I have no idea how many times we've had to pump this out for 1 or 2 strikeouts. It doesn't even feel like it's worth plugging it in. It takes a lot of power. This thing's not as young as it used to be, right? But of course, shout out to Circle K for always holding us down, both beverage wise during our hydration breaks and with our strikeout meter. But Erod again, 6 2/3, 3 hits, 0 earned runs, 3 walks, 5K, and that man. I don't think there's any doubt about it. I mean, there's a few guys offensively that might qualify as honorable mentions, but Erod is our King Snake tonight. Again, just a masterful performance. Kevin, King Snake me, Kevin. You know, Erod, 6 1/3 inning, 3 hits, 0 earned runs, 5 Ks. And look, there's people yelling in the chat about the Suns trading up to get Koa Pete. So I'm going to forgive Kevin for everything
slightly
he has
distracted.
going on.
I'm not going to lie.
He's not giving us 100% of his attention, but I'm going to allow it because the trolls in our chat, which I don't believe, but might be right. I don't know.
No, it's true.
Is it true?
It's happened. Yeah,
they did trade up.
When we gave the update, the 29th pick had was just sent in, and what the Suns crew was celebrating was a Gambo tweet. Not a pick. It was a Gambo tweet saying, hey, the Suns are going to draft 30 and pick Koa Pete. So they traded up into the first round and took Mr. Arizona.
Did they take him?
They did.
Oh, you're so calm over there.
I mean,
this is wild. Kevin didn't bat an eye. He didn't throw anything. I mean, it's more of the fact that I'm taking up his time right now. He's got a lot of Wildcats business to take care of. But we have a lot of bullpen business to take care of,
That's
Kevin.
true.
Because as much as we want to applaud Erod, we need to shame Paul Sewald for giving us all nearly a heart attack here in the 9th inning. You know, we had a obviously nice, not a perfect performance. Juan Murillo came in. He did walk 1 runner, but he struck out the next to get the final out of that inning for the 7th. You had Kevin Ginkel come in, get another clean inning. Kevin Ginkel lowers his ERA below 3 now with an inning pitched, 1 strikeout, no hits, no runs, 2.93 ERA on the season for Kevin Ginkel, and it was his 300th career regular season appearance. So kudos to our guy, Kevin Ginkel. Wildcat, Kevin, also guy named Kevin, recorded his 300th career regular season game, just the 3rd Dbacks pitcher with 300-plus career games behind Brad Ziegler and Andrew Chafin. So congrats to Kevin Ginkel for him getting the another clean inning. However, we got to talk about Paul Sewald. We all strapped in. I'm sure most of you were like us. It was a ball game. It was over, right? There's no amount of damage. Like, Paul Sewald has been so good this year that even if he gives up a run or two, we'll be fine, right? Right? No, Pat, we weren't fine. It all started off with known Star Wars character Lars Nootbaar, another double from him. Then he gets a strikeout of Nathan Church. Things feel better. But then Jose Furman singles, runners on the corner, and Alec Burleson doubles. Lars Nootbaar scores. Jose Furman the 3rd. Game's 4-1 at that point. You're still like, this is fine. Everything's fine. I looked at Kevin. I turned to Kevin. Kevin's laying on the couch with his bum foot. I said, Paul's going to give up 3 runs, but he's not going to give up 4.
Oh.
It's exactly what I said to Kevin, and I was right because Torey Lovullo made the move and took Paul Sewald out before he could give up 4, and he probably would have with the way things were going because they're late. You know, they have, Blaze Jordan hits a sacrifice fly, 2 outs. There's a runner on 3rd. No big deal, though. Still have a 2-run lead. And a guy comes up that has a 159 batting average. You just talked about believing in your players. This is where Ollie Marmol did not decide to pinch hit for this man with his 159 batting average. And he freaking delivers against Sewald, hitting an RBI single that scores Burleson and makes this a 4-3 game.
Yeah.
I know that Paul Sewald has games like this. I definitely know that this was the case. And I kind of felt it early on after he got his first out where you could just see he just didn't have his stuff. And then specifically in the at bat against Jimmy Crooks. It very much didn't look like he had his stuff. But I cannot tell you how shocked I was to see Arizona Diamondbacks manager Torey Lovullo turn to a different pitcher that he had warming up this whole time out there in the pen. He was ready. He was prepared in case Paul Sewald shit the bed, and he did, and he had somebody to turn to. And that man, Brandon Garcia, saved us from this being probably the most devastating loss of the season up to this point, considering the way that the 9th-inning went for this team and just in general. I couldn't believe it, Pat. I was absolutely shocked that they pulled Paul Sewald from this game and brought in Brandon Garcia. I was running around like I was when they were getting the hits in the 9th-inning there.
I like to think that maybe Paul Sewald is just a really, really good guy and wanted Garcia to get his first career save. So he manufactures a save scenario.
Here you go, buddy. This is for you. I doubt that's the case.
It was tough to watch, to your point, and I know we've already touched on it, but you got to tip the cap to Torey. He could have stuck with Sewald, and it probably would have ended in a walk-off. And then everybody would have been even angrier. At the end of the day, they saved a little face. It wasn't pretty. I mean, you look at these lines, right? We'll start. Erod, 6 2/3, 3 hits, 3 walks, 5 Ks. Marino, 1/3 of an inning, no hits, 1 walk, 1 K. Ginkel, 1 inning, no runs, no hits, no walks, 1 K. Sewald, 2/3, 4 hits, 3 runs, all earned. He was responsible for the runners on base as well.
Yeah, it would have been 4 if they scored, for sure.
No walks to his credit, but that's because they were putting them all in play. And 1 strikeout. And then Garcia comes in and gets to save 1/3 of an inning. I mean, which of these is not like the other? The one that says 4 hits, 3 runs, all earned. And that's rough. And, there's, especially when you're a closer, when you're a late game guy, it's cliche, but you got to be a goldfish. You got to have a short memory on that. And you hope he will. He's been through things like that. He's a closer, right? He's been through things like that,
and he's still 18 for 19 because this doesn't count as a blown save. He
just exactly.
Save, so it stays right where it's at. Brandon Garcia, like you said, does get his first career save here. And,
congrats, kid.
Hey, you know what? Luckily, they had a lefty in the bullpen to turn to there late, and that kind of made the big difference there going up against, JJ Weatherholt, who has been very hot for the Cardinals and was not the guy I wanted to see up with runners in scoring position and the game on the line there late. But again, you're right.
He was 0 for 5 today too. Weatherholt 0 for 5.
Exactly. It felt very much like he was due. It felt very much like he was due in that
Agreed.
moment, right? So again, just very good to see. Overall, it sucks that that Paul couldn't hold on for the save. It sucks that that went the way it did. I have this. I am oddly a fan of Paul Sewald, and I am oddly rooting for him, and I think it's just because it's not only good for us for him to be good, and we need him, but he's just really a good guy, and I know that a lot of fans don't care about those type of things, but when we were talking to him about his charity and just speaking to him about some of the stuff that he's been doing with some of the other members of the bullpen and things like that, you truly want a guy like that to find success. And again, with the setbacks to AJ Puck and Corbin Burns, the Diamondbacks need the guys that are here that have been good to continue to be good. And Juan Murillo is one of those guys that kind of has taken a little bit of a turn for the worse, but you still feel like he is getting things back on track as is the rest of this bullpen. But tonight, Paul Sewald bent as hard as you can bend without breaking, and Brandon Garcia came in and saved the day to keep this win in the Diamondbacks column there, or win for the Diamondbacks. Anyway, it's been a long night, and I'm very tired, and I'm not going to be good at metaphors for the rest of this whole thing here, Pat, or turns of phrases or any of this. I just keep thinking about how I'm keeping Kevin from his.
I was going to say
right now.
We better wrap it up. I know it's got to be. Sorry, Kevin. Appreciate you hanging with us.
He's got to explode at one point during
You
this
beat my
show.
Cardinals.
Yeah, well, he's a Cardinals fan
no.
too. He really doesn't want to be here doing this right now, and I'm going to continue to force him to do so. But
that's okay.
Is the foot elevated at least?
It actually is. It
No,
is.
yeah,
It's on a
good.
pile of
It's
pillows
good.
right
Yeah.
now, so he's taking care of it.
It's not
at
above the
least.
heart though, so
It's not above the heart, so it's not great for circulation. But we're keeping an eye on him. And it may or may not have happened on the mini hoop. Have you told people that it happened on the
we
mini
talked about it on the podcast.
Okay. It happened here in the office, allegedly, possibly, right in front of me. Everybody else got a big laugh out of it. Who was concerned?
Me.
Who cared? Who thought Kevin might have really hurt himself? This guy.
The
Who got
diplomat.
teased for it, Pat?
Diplomat.
Who did the other people in the room tease because I gasped and said, "Oh no, Kevin, are you okay?" They were like, "Oh no, Kevin, are you okay?" Like, yeah, who went to the doctor and found out that he tore tendons in his foot? Huh? The guy I was asking if he was okay. You know why? Because he wasn't okay, Pat. He wasn't okay.
That is an accurate retelling of the events. That is very accurate.
Did we roll it? Now I need to know.
Yeah, I went up to like fix a ceiling tile, but I was being like silly with it. I took the ball up with me as if I was like laying it up, and then I got like stuffed by the ceiling.
He was dunking it in the ceiling tile. Is what he was doing.
I was more focused on the ceiling tile and less on my landing, and so I landed on my ankle. I think it bent inward, and I like landed on it, and so I got up. I was like, "Oh, I'm just gonna walk this off because I can't tell people how bad this actually hurts. That'd be crazy."
I saw it in his
And Derek
eyes.
goes, "Are you good?" And I'm like, "No, I'm straight, bro. I'm good. We're all good."
Yeah.
Noah's like, "Oh yeah, he's fine." Damon's like, "What happened?" I'm like, "Nothing." I go to the bathroom. It's swollen the size of a softball.
Oh, yeah.
And I'm like, "Man, this is not good." I go home.
I try to take care of these kids around here.
That's not. I mean,
to take care of them. They don't listen.
Somebody's got to do it.
Yeah,
Somebody's got to do it.
They're horse playing. They're. You see them. They're out there. You see how slowly I take laps when when the Diamondbacks start scoring. There's video proof of that on social media. You can watch it. All right, we're going to take a quick break. On the other side of this break, we're going to take a look at the numbers from today's game because there wasn't a lot of numbers until late in this one. Don't you go anywhere. You are watching the PHNX Diamondback Show. Well, shout out to the husband and wife law team because they always take care of their clients. And if you are ever involved in an accident or serious injury, the lawyer you hire does matter, and you should contact the husband and wife law team first. Mark and Alexis Breyer, the husband and wife law team, and their team brings hundreds of years of combined trial experience, along with multiple certified specialists in personal injury and wrongful death, something Kevin might need some help with after what happened to his foot. But they, of course, are specialists in certified or in wrongful death and injury litigation. And in Arizona, the state bar is certified less than 1% of all lawyers as specialists in this field, making them experts. They also go to trial for their clients, and they know what needs to be done to prevail in front of a jury in a courtroom. Now, they cannot make any promises or guarantees about your case, but they can make promises to you as the client, including that you have the right to trust that as your lawyer, they will tell you both the strengths and weaknesses of your claim so that you can make informed decisions, that you can cancel your fee agreement with them at any time for any reason, and that you will receive as much in your pocket as they receive for their fee, even if they have to reduce their attorney fees to do so. If you've had a serious injury, call the husband and wife law team first at 602-783-8841 or visit the website at the link in our show notes and tell them PHNX sent you. By the way, there is a waiver that you have to sign to play on the PHNX court, by the way. Kevin signed multiple times. Mountain America Credit Union, by the way, financial success begins with the right institution and the right account, and that is Mountain America Credit Union and their one and only My Style checking account, designed around exceptional member service, something you just don't get these days. My Style checking is more than just a box of dusty old checks. They are a full financial service for you. They have, of course, so many different options, including rewarding perks, as well as free financial guidance that can help you whenever you have questions in regards to your financial goals or anything you're trying to do in your life, whether it is save for a new car, plan for a big vacation, or plan for what's next in life. The My Style checking account, though, is the ultimate spending account. It's how we get things done. It is the getting Kevin ice for his foot account. It is the, of course, figuring out what we're all here in this office going to do for dinner late night account.
It's the getting Kevin salmon because it's high in fatty acids and omega-3s, and that reduces inflammation and swelling account.
See, that sounds like you're just asking me to go get you something from down the street. And now it's legwork and using my MyStyle checking account. But it's for whatever makes your life worthwhile, basically. Mountain America's MyStyle checking account is right there with you. And again, with so many possibilities, how will you use MyStyle? Apply for your MyStyle checking account at any Mountain America branch or at macu.com/MyStyle today. Insured by NCUA. Membership is required based on eligibility. Some benefits require no cost registration, activation. Terms, conditions, and exclusions do apply. And of course, we're having our World Cup watch parties this week. Tomorrow, we got our big World Cup watch party out at Backyard Desert Ridge, an absolutely outstanding venue to go watch any sporting event at,
Backyard.
Specifically for the World Cup watch parties. We'll be watching the Mexico versus Czechia match out there. And then on Thursday, out at Phillies and Warner, we're watching Team USA take on Turkey. I mean, I heard Reese say,
if we're keeping it real, yeah.
I heard Reese say that they refuse to call the United States
Yes.
the United States, so he refuses to call them anything.
And
but
that
Turkey.
radicalized me. And
I am
then,
down with that.
it's Turkey.
Yeah. And we're going to war with them. So as far as that's concerned, I'm not going to try
What do you cook on Thanksgiving?
Yeah.
Turkey.
What
are we about to cook on the 25th?
What are we going to cook on the 25th? Turkey. Exactly. I love that. Also, out at Phillies, you're going to cook some Michelob Ultras, which are on special for $4. They got $6 neutrals, $6 Stella Artois. Make sure to head on over to gophnx.com/events for more details and to RSVP so that we can decide on how big our table needs to be. Let's take a look at some of the numbers from tonight's matchup here, Pat. Diamondbacks have outscored the Cardinals 4-3. They out-hit them when it came to extra base hits. They had 4 to the Cardinals.
They
2.
wasted them all, though.
Yes, they did. They absolutely wasted their extra base hits. Yeah. Except that last one from Nolan Arenado. That one was an important one. But runners in scoring position, as you mentioned there, 2 for 13. So they wasted a lot of opportunities when it came to runners in scoring position. Cardinals, meanwhile, 3 for 8. And a lot of those opportunities came late in the game. The Diamondbacks did a great job of holding the Cardinals to very limited opportunities scoring-wise versus what they had going on in this one. Cardinals, though, had a higher hard hit percentage there, 50% to the Diamondbacks, 36.7%. Also a higher expected batting average. Dbacks 187 to the Cardinals 234. And then last but not least, you had challenges. Dbacks at least won one of their challenges, which ended up being very important, going 1 for 2. Meanwhile, Cardinals were 0 for 2 with their challenges in this game. So again, very close when it came to the numbers overall. Cardinals actually doing a little bit better in some of those expected stats. But overall, really what it came down to was the pass ball. And I know we haven't really talked about that, but it just goes to show how something like that, and again, I've said it, the Diamondbacks haven't had very much luck swing in their direction. They've had a few games where teams that they've played have kind of made some mistakes defensively or made one huge mistake defensively late that ended up costing them the game like this one. But for the most part, it feels like whenever we're playing any team, they are playing their best defense that they have played all season long.
They're all Gold Glovers.
There's one guy that's hitting 800 in the 3-game series against us that up to this point was hitting 150. And, it feels like it doesn't stop, when it comes to that sort of thing. I know it was kind of a cheap win there late with that winning run being a pass ball, but I will take it with the way that the Diamondbacks haven't had much luck going their way.
It's why you take those opportunities, though, right, Derek? It's why you never know if that one extra pitch, that one defensive gaffe, how bad would it have been had Tommy Troy collided with Perdomo earlier when they collided and Perdomo drops it and then they score instead of doubling them off. And I will never understand why he ran from third. But think of, to your point, a little bit of luck there that could have gone poorly. It went fine. This is fine. And then that pass ball, which, ends up being the difference because you're paying attention. It's good base running. I mean, of course you're going to break home once you see that go, but at the same time, sometimes think of how, like, let's say he doesn't go or he gets thrown out at home or something like that. Think of how that reflects if they end up losing 4-3, if they don't get that fourth run, if they don't take advantage, or if you're just not paying attention at third and the ball gets by and you just don't break home for whatever reason.
Well,
so
it was a pinch runner too, right? So it was Barossa that came in to pinch run for Gurriel.
Cold.
And that's another move there where you can't help but wonder, would Lourdes Gurriel been able to make it home
there you go.
on that pass ball?
There you go.
Probably not. So making that move to bring Barossa in and have Barossa, on the base path proved to be very valuable. This podcast tends to be a sounding board for a few individuals to come in here and request that Torey Lovullo be dismissed of his duties basically on a nightly basis, right? But again, those are the kind of moves by a manager that you don't really talk about enough that ended up winning you a baseball game, right? Same thing with taking,
Sewald.
They pinch ran for Pavin Smith with Ilmar Vargas. That ends up being pretty valuable as well, too. Not only did you have a better base runner in Vargas out there at first base, but you also brought Pavin Smith with his knowledge of that 10-pitch at bat back to the dugout to share what he could with the hitters that still were going to go up there and take at bat. So, I don't know personally because I wasn't in the dugout and wasn't there in St. Louis tonight, but it kind of feels like a lot of that stuff did end up being the difference maker here in what was a one-run ball game.
Yeah, Torey made all the right moves tonight. We talked about, it was probably hard to take Erod out in the 7th, but took him out. And again, those are the moves that they go under the radar when it works, when it goes as it should.
Yes. Yeah.
But if they give up a hit there and allow a run to score, Torey gets absolutely, absolutely destroyed online.
For him. Yeah.
Or if he leaves Erod in and they get a run, he gets destroyed on, you know what I mean? And hey, there may or may not have been a PHNX newsletter editor who may or may not have written about Torey Lovullo's job status last year, taken some heat, and then a lot of supporters with the folks in the chat too. So I'm no stranger to the Fire Torey game.
Yeah.
I was on the bandwagon for a hot minute, and my opinion shouldn't matter about anything anyways, but I think he's doing a pretty darn decent job this year. They're so injured. It is so hard. It's just depressing, the parade to the IL. It's just absolutely depressing. And like you said, the pinch runners made all the difference in the world. The relief pitchers, both times, I know there were more than two, but both times where it was a critical moment in the game, he pulled the right lever. They got out of the jam. And there's something to be said for that, because when you don't make the right move, it gets called out. When you do make the right moves, a lot of times no one's going to say anything. And that's part of being a big league manager, and he understands that. But I do want to tip my cap to him tonight, at least, because he really did make all the right moves in this game tonight.
Yep, I agree. And there's people in the chat bringing up, when you talk about the injuries that this team has experienced, Max Kepler, who has been picked up by the Diamondbacks, and his 80-game suspension will end here shortly, allowing him to return he can be back as soon as Thursday, as far as the Dbacks are concerned, as far as his suspension is concerned. Could he give this team a lift? Perhaps. And perhaps at that point, we see the end of Tommy Troy's time on the big league roster. That could possibly be that, perhaps also Lou James Groover could possibly be optioned down as well. But Max Kepler, he has played with the Hillsboro Hops, as I'm rocking here right now.
Nice.
He's played in the Arizona Complex League, and he has played a few games with the Reno Aces. So far, in 9 games in the Diamondbacks minor league system, he is slashing 400, 545 with a 680 slug for a 1225 OPS.
1225.
I don't want to get excited, but I'm kind of excited. It's 9 games. I don't want it. It's 2 in the Complex League, 2 in Hillsboro, and then 5 for Reno, which is notorious for how much of a pitcher or hitter-friendly ballpark it is. But still, slashing 400, 545, 680, get him up here and put him on my baseball team right now, because we can use all the help we can get, and maybe, just maybe, he can keep this going at a major league level. The other story is that the Diamondbacks have recalled Mitch Bratt to the Major League roster, and it very much looks like Bratt will be the TBD pitcher starting tomorrow. They also still have Cole Drake here, as well as Jose Cabrera. So I'm not sure what the plan is in regards to those roster moves, but it very much feels like Cole Drake might be sent back down without having appeared in a Diamondbacks game. That's my thought. Jose Cabrera pitched exceptionally well on Father's Day, and I think he's earned a chance to stay in the starting rotation for the time being right now. But yeah, Nate Cleveland in the chat asked, what about Drake? And don't know for sure, but Drake's had a rough stretch with the Diamondbacks since he's been a part of this team. So they might see him as the guy that they might want to option back down. Not sure, but and now we're finding out that Dr. Congo lost. So now it truly is. Now it truly is a bad night. But we're going to take a quick break. On the other side of this break, we're going to talk a little bit about the All-Star voting and why the hell Diamondbacks can't seem to get any of their guys voted into the All-Star game. Don't you go anywhere. We'll be right back. Of course, Game Time is the app for you to go see wonderful baseball games like this one. I'm understanding that the Tarps Off movement in baseball, at least, started in St. Louis. So again, if you want to go be part of the OG Tarps Off movement, maybe I want to be part of the OG Tarps Off movement. I've never felt closer to my baseball brothers than I did when I was full Tarps Off. So again, use Game Time to make sure you go find experiences like this, life-changing experiences with 1,200 of your new best friends. But the Game Time app gives fans the advantage with constant innovation. It's how you unlock amazing tickets and tarp off experiences in just a few taps. The Game Time guarantee means you get 100% authentic tickets, on time at the best price, no surprises. Plus, speaking of no surprises, fees are included in the price, so you know exactly what you're going to pay at checkout with no surprises happening there, as well as your ability to see what your view is going to be from your seat before you decide to make that ticket purchase, so there's no surprises when you get to the ballpark. Plus, your ticket is covered by the lowest price guarantee, or Game Time will credit you 110% of the difference. So take the guesswork out of buying MLB tickets to every baseball game with Game Time. Download the Game Time app, create an account, and use code PHNX for $20 off your first purchase. Terms do apply. Again, create an account, redeem code PHNX for $20 off. Download the Game Time app today. Kevin, what time is it?
It is Game Time.
That's a good one. So that's a good one. That's good effort. Also, stop by Circle K and save yourself some money. I'm going to pick up some celebratory beatboxes on my way home from Circle K. That's what I'm going to treat myself with. You should make sure to hydrate yourself. Go for a hydration break at Circle K and get yourself all of the drinks, no matter if it's morning, noon, or night. They got you covered, and they'll have you covered for less if you join the Inner Circle for free right now. It's easy to download and get enrolled, and then you just use your phone number to score Circle K deals like 79-cent Polar Pops, 99-cent Frosters. You'll save on the Inner Circle Fuel Days, 40 cents off per gallon. And you can also save when there's not an Inner Circle Fuel Day by buying 3 Coca-Cola 20-ounce products and saving 25 cents off per gallon on your next fuel fill-up. So join the Inner Circle for free by downloading the Circle K app today. Terms and conditions do apply at participating locations. Visit CircleK.com for details. Well, Pat, I got to say, I'm not surprised that the Diamondbacks are not doing very well in the All-Star voting, but I also have to say I am furious and want to turn over this table based on how bad the Diamondbacks are doing in All-Star voting. Kevin, if you wouldn't mind putting up this graphic from the Arizona Diamondbacks they posted in a tweet showing where exactly we were in the standings. They had a nice little keep punching vibe with doing like a boxing poster, and they did some cool photos of the guys with like boxing gloves on. And as far as a boxing match goes, we're getting our asses kicked is what's happening here. The guy with the best chance of making it into the All-Star game right now in 4th place, Nolan Arenado.
Well,
how does Corbin Carroll not deserve better here? Corbin Carroll is in 10th place for outfielders. There's 10 outfielders that are better than Corbin. Name them, all of them. I want names. There's 9. I don't believe you. It's crazy. It sucks and it's brutal. I know that this is just like part of the All-Star thing. We don't even get to vote in pitchers, right? But again, it just feels very bad, and it feels very reminiscent of a time where this team sent Joe Mantiply as their sole representative to an all-star game. Let's not forget that actually was a thing that happened one year.
What a great callback. What a great callback. I've got a litany of reasons why it's a joke that Corbin Carroll isn't in the top 6, let alone the top 3, if you will. Right. But like, one of the most dependable fielders out there, you're not going to run on him. You're not going to challenge that arm. And then on top of it, as my son Ozzy says all the time as he's playing the show, he's the fastest player in the league. If he gets on first, he might as well score. Like, doesn't matter how he gets on first, right? If he gets on first, and oh, by the way, he gets on third with one swing of the bat more than any other player in the NL and more than any other player in Diamondbacks history. So how are we not rewarding the fact that he is playing on both sides of the ball very, very well all the time? I know he's not a power hitter. I understand that he's not exactly hitting the cover off the ball right now, but he's still, without question, at least one of the 6 best outfielders in the game.
He's got 7 outs above. He's got 7 outs above average, which is the most for any corner outfielder. And RA in the chat is right. He said Corbin is getting in. It just sucks he won't start. He will get in. He will get recognized.
Agreed. Understood.
You probably could argue that Ketel Marte and Geraldo Perdomo and others probably don't deserve it with the way that they performed this year offensively. Yeah. Ketel had a very hot week, but outside of that, he has not been very consistent, and Perdomo has really struggled this year. Nolan Arenado once again proves that the name value goes a long way, right? Because he is 4th in voting for third base, and I guarantee you there's far more third basemen that deserve it, but you see Nolan Arenado still out there doing the thing, and you just vote for him because, hey, I know that guy.
The name. St. Louis fans are also crazy. Love St. Louis fans. Love you, Kevin. Love you, Kevin. For it. So they're gonna keep vote. Like they're probably voting him in. You know what I mean? Like they're probably Cardinals fans that are voting for him too. Like it's a popularity contest. I was telling that to Ozzy and Sadie, my kids earlier. There's a part of it that's a popularity contest. I just don't understand. Corbin Carroll is so exciting to watch.
I want my guys to be liked so much. I want everybody to like them as much as we do. So that's why the popularity contest thing just further smacks me down. Also, it's Arizona. It's the Diamondbacks. We have a hard time forming fans that don't live here. I think that's finally starting to happen after the 2023 World Series run, but it's still hard to get this fan base kind of reaching outside of the valley very far if it's not people that used to live here at one time or hold their allegiance here. But there is a new generation, including your kids, that will not know a time where the Diamondbacks didn't exist in the valley. So hopefully that generation, I always say it's Damon and people younger than him that will forever hold this team in different regards because they will have never known some other team that their family rooted for or whatever. It's nothing but this team, then purple and teal running through your veins. But hey, Pat, I thank you so much for your time, brother. Thank you so much for joining us. Yeah. I'm going to let Kevin get out of here so he can go do 9 million pieces of social content about Koa Pete to the Suns. Is Koa Pete really a Sun?
Yes.
That's wild.
Really? That's really I cannot believe it. This is incredible.
I do want to give a shout out to Kevin Concaso really quick with the how is Bucky's not in the All-Star lineup. That really cracks me up.
Well, I mean, that's because
Iowa 80 truck stop for life. I don't want to hear any of this Bucky's garbage. The I-80 truck stop in Davenport, Iowa.
Don't bring up
largest
what are you doing?
Stop.
You're just trying to start an argument with a bunch of people.
No, I appreciate this out of Pat because I was talking to Connor about this the other day. I'm not anti-Bucky's. I really appreciate what they bring to the table. However, I will say this much. Has no one ever been to a different truck stop? It's just a truck stop with a cool brand.
God,
People are staying at hotels for this thing.
It's
I
the
don't
Stanley Cups of truck stops. That's exactly what it is.
That is crazy.
It's fancy.
I am
you
not
recognize
bringing you
the
any
name.
nuggets. I'm not bringing you any freaking jerky.
No, but see, that's the thing. I'm not saying that
I
the food's not
refuse
good.
to buy you a single shirt with a beaver on it.
I'm not saying the food's not good, but Bo Brock told me that he saw on the news there were like 50,000 cars that went through Buc-ee's.
Oh, that see
for the grand
again,
opening.
50 to
I am a
50 to
sensible,
75,000
people live next to the
cars.
Buc-ee's? No,
Yeah.
they don't.
People are like, Buc-ee's opened on, Monday, June 22nd. I'm like, for me, Buc-ee's will open sometime in late July because that will be the first time I will try to set foot in that place.
There are real breathing humans with Buc-ee's tattoos, and I'll leave it at that.
All right.
Crazy.
Well,
That's
there's
crazy.
also people that think that, again, that the Diamondbacks are going to win the World Series this year. There's crazy people amongst us. I might be
Derek,
one of
thank
them.
you. Thank you for inviting me on
Thank
the
you
show.
for
I
coming.
hope I didn't take you too far off the rails.
No.
Especially with Buc-ee's there at the
You
end.
can never take this show too far off the rails. And again,
I'm in
that's-
good company.
That's
I
only
love it.
because we are the premier pygmy hippo podcast as far as baseball podcasts are concerned. There's not a single baseball podcast that covers pygmy hippos the way that we do here. So again, you cannot derail this podcast far enough. But again,
I love it.
we appreciate your time. Thank you so much, Pat. Make sure you guys all follow, I guess, all of us here on social media, not just Pat, but me, Pat, Kevo posts. PB is at P Brown Reports. I am at Cap_Caveman with a K, and Kevo is at Kevo Posts, of course. But we're all Damon's dogs still, right? He's in Spain right now, but we still got to give it up for him. He has a lot to catch up on when he comes back, both in basketball and in baseball. But again, thank you, Pat, for your time. Thank you guys for joining us. Of course, our show is at PHNX_Dbacks, but all roads as always lead to at PHNX_sports on Twitter, Instagram, and Facebook. It's like I've never closed this show out before. Appreciate you guys so much for your time. It's a very valuable commodity. Thank you for sharing a little bit of it with us. We'll see you back here tomorrow for another post-game show. Until then, behave yourselves, have yourself a wonderful night, and remember, kids, baseball is fun, but it's so much more fun when you don't let Paul Sewald ruin your night.
We all silly like the man.